Population explosion. The number of organisms of same species constitute its population. The rapid increase in the number of individuals of a species, especially in human beings, after the World War II can be termed as population explosion. The current rate of population growth is now a significant burden to human well-being. Factors for population increase. The factors responsible for this population explosion are accelerating birth rate, decreased infant mortality, increased life expectancy, increase in food production and distribution, improvement in public health, advancement in medical technology, that is vaccines and antibiotics. Some effects of population explosion. The unprecedented rise in population is one of the most important cause of resource depletion. The rise in population increase the demand for food, shelter, clothing, water, electricity, transportation, healthcare, educational institutions, etc. Increase in demand for food leads to intensive cropping, leading to decrease in soil fertility and conversion of forest into cropland. Infrastructure development leads to change in land use pattern. There is increase in demand of fossil fuel and more generation of waste.
UN's population projection for 2050. According to the UN news sources, the current world population is 7.8 billion in October 2020. Population projections are attempt to show how the human population living today will change in the future. These projections are an important input to forecast of the population's impact on this planet and humanity's future well-being. The major findings of these research are: the global population is getting older. The slowdown in population growth due to the overall reduction in fertility causes the proportion of older person to increase over time. The number of people of age 65 and older is projected to be more than double by 2050 and more than triple by 2100. According to this report, some developing countries, especially in Africa, are still growing rapidly. The population of developed region will remain largely unchanged at around 1.3 billion from now until 2050. In contrast, the 49 least developed countries are projected to double in size from around 900 million people in 2013 to 1.8 billion in 2050. While there has been a rapid fall in the average number of children per woman, in large developing countries such as China, India, Indonesia, Iran, Brazil, and South Africa, rapid growth is expected to continue over the next few decades in countries with high levels of fertility such as Nigeria, Niger, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Ethiopia, and Uganda. The report notes that India is expected to become the world's largest country, passing China around 2024, when both countries will have populations of 1.45 billion. After that, India's population will continue to grow and China's is expected to start decreasing. Meanwhile, Nigeria's population is expected to surpass that of the United States before 2050. Overall, life expectancy is projected to increase in developed and developing countries in future years. At the global level, it is projected to reach 76 years in the period of 2045 to 2050 and 82 years in 2095 to 2100. By the end of the century, people in developed countries could live on average around 89 years, compared to about 81 years in developing regions. The UN has given three types of projections for population growth by 2050. Medium projection is 10 billion. The low projection is only 7.5 billion, that is 2.2 billion less than the medium one. We could achieve the low projection if we place in high priority on population control activities and on human development focused on women. The high projection is no less than 12.5 billion, a massive 4.7 billion more. This gap is equal to whole extra world as it was in 1984. This would happen if we continue to neglect women's need.
Population growth and climate change. Population growth has aggravated the climate change. The increasing population needs more food, fuel, shelter, for which the forests are being destroyed rampantly. The forests are the greatest natural carbon sink. They regulate the rainfall and temperature of the place. Deforestation leads to climate change. The increasing population needs more fossil fuel for automobiles. The excess use of fossil fuel leads to accumulation of greenhouse gases, which leads to global warming. Growing population needs more of essential consumer products. The demand for these products escalate the production by industries, leading to more industrial pollution. This in turn leads to global warming. By 2050, we can achieve the low projection. It could mean emitting 9.3 billion tons of less carbon dioxide than under the median projection of population. Recent studies have indicated that global warming may increase the number of hungry in the world. If the carbon dioxide level doubles and population follow the median projection, then the number of malnourished would increase to 823 million by 2050. But with low projection, only 481 million people would go hungry. Population trends in developing countries. The world population of 7.2 billion in mid-2013 is projected to increase by almost 1 billion people within the next 12 years. According to official United Nations population estimates, it is projected to reach 8.1 billion in 2025 and to further increase to 9.6 billion in 2050 and 10.9 billion by 21st century. The population of developing countries is projected to rise from 5.9 billion in 2013 to 8.2 billion in 2050 and to 9.6 billion in 21st century. Much of the overall increase would take place in high fertility countries, mainly in Africa, as well as countries with large populations such as India, Indonesia, Pakistan, Philippines, and the United States of America. Growth is expected to be particularly dramatic in the least developed countries of the world between 2013 and 21st century. The populations of 35 countries could triple or more. Among them, the populations of Burundi, Malawi, Mali, Niger, Nigeria, Somalia, Uganda, United Republic of Tanzania, and Zambia are projected to increase at least fivefold by 21st century. North-South divide on resource use and consumption. Often it has been found that the economic growth in real terms may be far less than the cost of restoring the lost environment. It is absolutely necessary to use all the natural resources efficiently and use renewable resources rather than non-renewable resources. It also needs support of eco-friendly technologies. It is here that the divergence between the northern and the southern views on environmental problems and development arise. North-South divide. The northern or the developed countries and southern or the developing countries are always locked horn when it comes to the concern of resource use and environment degradation. Both of them blame each other for the plight of the constant deterioration of the earth, the only habitat of the human beings. The views of the developed or the northern countries. The developed countries are of the opinion that the uncontrolled population growth in the developing countries is the major cause of the environment degradation. Population growth increases pressure on all sectors to increase output, which in turn increases the demand of resources and increases pollution. It also needs more food for the growing population, which leads to the exploitation of soil to increase food production. This leads to degradation of soil, rendering it unproductive after a few years. To increase the food production, forests are cleared and converted into agricultural lands. This accounts for the loss of forest resources. Thus, the northern countries suggest urgent need for effective population control as prerequisite for environmental protection. Views of the developing or the southern countries. The developing countries express their dissatisfaction over the views of the north, pointing out that the high population growth is the major cause for the resource depletion and the environmental degradation. This is disputed by the southern countries on two major grounds. The southern countries debate that the environmental impact of population growth in the high income developed countries far outstrip the impact of population growth in the low income developing countries. They argue that the north must reduce the level of consumption. It has been calculated that every 1,000 babies born in developed countries of the world consume 3 to 4 times as much of the earth resources as 9,000 born in the developing countries due to its high purchasing power. The South feels that the high rate of deforestation is not only due to the extension of agricultural activities but more because of national debt servicing necessities and the high demand of forest products from the developed countries. The financial assistance extended by financial institutions like World Bank and International Monetary Fund of the North are on two terms. First, the borrowing countries can sell the wood to the developed countries initially and then obtain a financial loan to reforest and repair the environmental damage. To pay back the loans, invariably more forest is cleared. The South also points out that developed countries consume most of the forest fuel resources. US alone consumes a major share of world's transport energy, whereas all the developing countries together do not consume as much. Demographic transition. Demography is the statistically study of human population, spatially with reference to size and density, distribution and vital statistics. Demographic transition is used to represent the transition from high birth rate to low birth rate as the country develops from a pre-industrial to an industrial economic system. The stages of demographic transition are: in stage 1, pre-industrial society, death rates and birth rates are high and roughly in balance. All human populations are believed to have had this balance until the late 18th century, when this balance ended in Western Europe. Birth and death rates both tend to be very high in this stage. In stage 2, that of developing country, the death rates drop rapidly due to improvements in food supply and sanitation, which increase lifespans and reduce diseases. Other improvements generally include access to technology, basic health care and education. In stage 3, birth rates fall due to availability of contraception, increases in wages, urbanization, and increase in the status and education of women, reduction child labor, and increase in parental investment in the education of children and other social changes. Population growth begins to level off. During stage 4, there are both low birth rates and low death rates. Death rates may remain consistently low or increase slightly due to increases in lifestyle diseases. Due to low exercise levels and high obesity and an aging population in developed countries, by the late 20th century, birth rates and death rates in the developed countries got leveled at lower rates. Population control strategies. Various strategies can be adopted to control population. Family planning programs should be made people's movement. Educational campaigns should be carried out to make people aware of the benefits of a small family and the methods of family planning. Population should be made a part of school and college curriculum. Electronic media should be made responsible for spreading message amongst masses. Women should be given proper education. People should be made aware of various contraceptives and surgical methods to control birth. Reducing infant mortality so that parents do not increase their family size tenure, at least some survive to adulthood. Facilities offered by government to its employees are limited to 2 children only. Government is offering incentives for family accepted for sterilization. Moreover, India was the first country to take measures for family planning back in 1951. Women-centered human development. This is much stress upon enhancing the roles and status of women in developing countries as well as its revitalizing programs for reproductive health and family planning. Women-centered human development program has been modulated for this purpose. Women-centered strategies concentrate on specific areas that improve the quality of life of women and girls. The focus is not on gender equality or equity outcomes per Women-centered strategies concentrate on specific areas that improve the quality of life of women and girls. The focus is not on gender equity or equality outcomes, although these may be achieved as a result of implementation of women-centered strategies. Women-centered strategies typically focuses on the following. Number 1, improving women's and girls' education. Number 2, increasing their knowledge of health choices, especially in the area of reproductive health and family planning. Number 3, increasing their decision making and empowering women to have more control over resources at their disposal. Number 4, increasing their economic power by increasing their incomes. Number 5, reducing their exposure to various forms of violence, especially gender-based violence and domestic violence. That's all for ICSE Environmental Science addressing population. Stay tuned for more audiobooks on different topics. Thank you. Till then, happy learning. Bye bye.